Angel by Graham Parsons, our boy GP. A record that, you know, you were like, what's your favorite record? And that is such a like loaded, huge question. And it took a minute and I had to think about it. And this is a new favorite, actually. And I feel like I went through a period of time, I don't know, like maybe like 3 or 4 years where like, I don't know, do you ever go through times where you just like completely stop listening to music, or music just becomes like kind of like less important to you because other things start going on?
I have not.
You have not?
Yeah.
I have, strangely enough. And so that time ended and I needed music again, you know, I needed it. Graham Parsons is a name that I've known for a super long time, and I think the first Graham Parsons song I ever heard was Streets of Baltimore, and I forget who played it for me, but it was when I was much younger. And I remember hearing it and immediately assuming, because it was so perfect, it was just this perfect country song, and it was an established sounding song, that it was just some like old dude in a big brim cap. Like I didn't know it was like a fucking rock and roller, like partier, like, you know what I mean? And so that's when I first heard of him. And then when I kind of revisited the Burrito Brothers and checked them out for the first time and got into it, I was like, oh goddamn, like this is great. And so not only did I start listening to the music, but I started kind of like diving into like the story of who they are and who Graham Parsons is. And he's like a completely fascinating dude, you know, a super dysfunctional guy, but fascinating nonetheless. And from there, I guess I started listening to his first solo record, GP, and that rules. But this is it. This is where it's at for sure. It's kind of like Kate was saying, it's his kind of like, I don't know, it's what he left everybody with, and it kind of encompasses, I mean, he pioneered the whole idea of this like cosmic American sound. It's this like extremely special fusion of country music and rock and roll and like R&B kind of too, I think. And no one's ever been able to do it like him because he created it. So I guess that's where the journey started, is with the Burritos. No. And obviously like, I think the thing obviously that I liked about Graham was like his voice is very vulnerable, and a lot of his songwriting, the lyrics are always something that stuck out to me too. They're very vulnerable as well. But the way that he brought covers to the group, he brought these fucking like R&B covers, and it was just like, wow, this is a country, like this is a country song. Like he's always just had this kind of like ear for creating this sound that he pioneered, and that was so captivating that made me just kind of like completely fall for him, like head over heels. And so I was immediately into it, and I just needed to do the geek out and find out everything I could about him and just learn as much as I can. So Hearts on Fire to me has always been like the standout, and especially in this record too, because like all the like party jams are like awesome, woo, like this rules, but the love songs and like the heartbreak songs, the melody and the sound of it is so sweet, but the lyrics are so brutal. And I forget who told me, but it was like that concept of like you could only hate something that you once loved. That like when I listen to this record, like I think about that a lot, just because I think lyrically, like just like the weird juxtaposition of like the sweetness and the beauty with like the brutality is just super wild and super cool. So Hearts on Fire is definitely kind of the standout for me on this record for sure. We went up to Joshua Tree, and I was like, whoa, okay, I totally want to go to the Joshua Tree and where Graham Parsons died. Like, I think that would be a really cool way for me, especially as I was like really feeling it, really feeling him, to just kind of like, I don't know, just get in there and and do it. And we just pulled up, and it was extremely eerie and extremely quiet. And there's like this big courtyard with a pool, and it's like totally that like desert Cali vibe. And there was like one of those just like tiny signs in the window with like the letters that you press on, and it just said like welcome to like the home of Graham Parsons' spirit. And I was like, sick, this is cool. And we walked into the courtyard, and there's like a memorial, like there's like a guitar memorial with like some random shit that people put down and pay their respects or whatever. And there was nothing going on, no one was really talking to us, so that was sweet. And then I noticed, like, I think he died in room like 8, either 7 or 8, I can't remember the exact number, but I had my phone on me so I could double check. And the lady was housekeeping, and you know, the room was open, and I was like, whoa, like I have a chance to go into the room that Graham Parsons died in. This is insane. And so
can you rent that room?
You can. Oh yeah, you totally could. And like it's not only can you rent it, but like it's like totally reasonably like priced and like always available. Like, you know, like it's not, you know, I was kind of, just because I was, you know, because I'm such a fan, I was kind of expecting like a fucking Graceland experience, you know what I mean? Or, you know, obviously not as elevated, but like something a little more than how casual like it was. And so I like made my friend, and we just like sat there and waited, and I was finally like, all right, dude, I'm just gonna do it. Like, I'm just gonna go in there, I'm just gonna go in the room. And I just like walked in there, and it was just very strange. I think like the mirror is original from when he passed. That was the same mirror that was in there. Everything else obviously has like been changed, but it was like a super powerful experience. And I don't know, I feel like there are those people that I've become one of them, that are really into visiting their icons' graves, or you know, death sites or something like that. And it's in no way like I don't view it as a grim thing. I just view it as more of a, you know, just like a personal connection, you know, a way to kind of, you know, meet the person that you've been hanging out with for such a long time, or something like that. You know what I mean?
And all of his, a lot of his solo work too, it's kind of just about this like,
you know, this odd temptation of like, kind of like the good boy going west and being tempted by all these things. And ultimately that was like what happened to him. And he wrote in such an autobiographical way that it's, you know, I just feel like his career is very personal, in that it's just what he was going through at each time, which I think is special. And I mean, I think that's the goal for a lot of artists and a lot of musicians, but I mean, in particularly, especially like this record fucking ends with "In my hour of darkness," like Jesus Christ, like, you know, and then he's dead. So I just think that there's something extremely true about him as an artist, and completely transparent and honest, and the fact that he could narrate, you know, whatever he was living and whatever he was going through in such a killer way is just a true testament to, you know, what a special dude he was.
The flames and set this cold heart free.